Hey friends, Amanda Probst, certified life coach here to talk with you today about dread. Such a wonderful topic, right? But I want to talk with you about this feeling because I'm seeing it showing up in my life. I'm seeing it showing up in my clients' lives. And so I'm pretty sure it's probably showing up in your life. And so I want to talk with you about this specific feeling because I want to show you how it's probably creating a net negative result for you. So let me show you how this works. I have a few different circumstances up there in my circumstance line. This is just where I'm seeing it in my life. So I'm noticing that some mornings when I wake up to do my workout or my run, my thought is I really don't want to do this, whether it's because of lack of sleep or just my body's aching. And I have this feeling of dread inside of me. Sometimes it's because I've had to have a difficult conversation lately, whether it be with a husband or with my kids. Difficult conversations are never fun to have. And so the thought is I really don't want to do this today. And I have a feeling of dread inside of me. The other place that I am seeing it is that Mondays are math days in my home. I homeschool the kids and I have kids of a variety of ages. And so math takes about 5 hours on Monday for me because I have to work with each one of them individually. And my oldest girl is starting into the geometry and the algebra. And sometimes that can be a little frustrating and emotional for her. And so sometimes I get this feeling of, I don't want to do this, or it's going to take forever. And I have this feeling of dread. It's like a pit in my stomach. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I know you know what I'm talking about. And so when I'm feeling this feeling of dread, what we tend to do when we have these negative emotions is we tend to what we would know as procrastinate. In coaching, we call it buffering. And the reason why we call it buffering is because we tend to avoid those feelings by replacing those feelings by doing something else so that we don't have to acknowledge them. So this can show up in the way of eating or drinking something sweet to give us a little pick-me-up. We might get online and do some shopping, or we might do some scrolling on social media. We might get engrossed in a favorite TV show and find that 3 hours later that we're really behind. So there's a variety of ways that this could show up. It could be drinking alcohol. There's so many ways that we can buffer or avoid the negative feelings that we don't want to feel. But here's the thing, when we do that, when we buffer or procrastinate, as we would know it, we tend to add negative emotions into our life, right? So eventually, we probably end up doing the task that we had planned. I never not do my workout or my run, and I never not have the difficult conversation. And we don't avoid math, we do it. So I complete my task, but I might feel mentally bad about myself because maybe I yelled at my daughter because I got really frustrated and I wasn't able to control my emotions because maybe I had eaten something sweet and I was on a sugar high and then I came crashing down and I was frustrated with myself for even eating something that wasn't good for me because I know after 10 years of being on a good healthy diet and being on a good exercise routine that eating junk food is not what I want to do. But sometimes my body still craves it and sometimes I give into that craving. And so I know, and then I beat myself up, right? So not only am I feeling dread because I really didn't want to have to do what I had to do, but then on top of it, even though I completed that and I felt dread the whole time, I also felt guilt and shame. And that's how we add this net negative result. Okay. So it might be anything on that list or so many other things that we could avoid our negative emotions with. And so maybe it's not dread for you. Maybe it's fear, or maybe it's overwhelm, or maybe it's worry. Whatever emotion you might be feeling that you really don't want to feel, when you buffer away by doing some of these other things, what you end up doing is causing a net negative result for yourself. Because eventually we have to do the task, whether it's a week later, a year later, an hour later, we still have to complete whatever task it was that we needed to do. So not only are we feeling the dread that whole time because we know we have to do that, so we're feeling this negative emotion, but then on top of it, if we've avoided it by doing one of these other things, we're probably beating ourselves up mentally, or we're physically feeling sick to our stomach. For me, that's what I feel. I feel sick to my stomach when I eat a lot of sweets. And it's been Valentine's Day and there's been lots of sweets in my house. And I've been extra tired because my kids have not been sleeping through the night. My little ones have been having some bad dreams. And so I justify it by like, I'm tired. I need a pick me up. And so this feeling of dread comes on because I really don't have the energy to do my workout, but I know I need to do it because I know I'll feel better. But I end up avoiding it for a little while. And then I cause myself some issues, some additional negative feelings. And so I want you guys to be able to see this so that you can start to be aware of it in your own life, because that's really what we want to use the model for. We want to become aware of what we're doing and creating in our lives and why, so that we can just have more compassion for ourselves, but also so that we can start to stop ourselves from doing it if that's what we want to do, and be able to change those results. Because guess what? I can just wake up and have my circumstance of the fact that I have a workout on the schedule and that's what I'm supposed to do. And my thought could be, I really don't want to do this today. And I could have the feeling of dread, but I could just skip all the procrastination and go straight to doing my task. And my result is going to be that the task was completed. I probably felt better. I probably had a better workout and I'm happier with myself. So I only had one negative emotion, but my result is way better. I could look at the fact that I have to do math today, and I know it's a difficult lesson for my daughter. And so I know she's going to be a little emotional, and I can think, I really don't want to do this. And it brings on some dread. And then I could eat a sugar and have a little pick me up, but then have my low, and then I get irritated and grumpy and I'm tired, and then I'm mad at myself. And so I take that frustration out on my daughter, and then I feel guilty for making my daughter feel bad, and then I feel bad, and then everybody feels bad. So I could just feel the dread and do what I need to do, or I could feel the dread and shame and guilt and physical ill on top of it. It's all our choice, but I prefer to not have the additional net negative. So make your choice, but be aware and make sure that you're choosing it consciously. And there's my kitty cat. I didn't know she was in here. Have a good day, guys.